How much money has passed through your hands over the course of your life? Think about it. Every time you received a salary, spent money, or got paid in any form, that cash flowed through your hands. Over time, that adds up to a significant amount. But here's the real question. How much of that money do you still have? Let's put it this way. Maybe you earned $32,000 last year, and you're 30 years old now. Suppose you received your first paycheck of $80 when you were 17. Add up everything you've made since then, and it could total $300,000, $500,000, or even more. Now, stop and ask yourself, how much of that money is left in your pocket? Most people never truly consider this, but it's a powerful question, because the answer might shock you. Believe it or not, the average person spends tens of thousands of dollars each year on food, housing, transportation, and other necessities. Over a lifetime, that adds up to hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. And that doesn't even include the money we spend on non-essentials like clothes, entertainment, and vacations. So, are you truly satisfied with how much money you've managed to hold on to? If the answer is no, it's likely because you haven't yet learned the rules of money. In this video, I'm going to share with you 20 essential money rules that you must master if you want to live an abundant life. Because here's the truth. You will never become rich if you don't understand how money really works. Let's begin with the first rule. Never let anyone know how much money you have. In today's capitalist world, your social status is often measured by how much money you make. That's why people like to show off their income. But here's the danger. Once people know you have money, they'll start asking for favors, loans, or handouts. Before you know it, you'll be surrounded by people who want to take advantage of you. I've seen this happen countless times. Yes, bragging about your wealth might give you a moment of pride, but it's never worth the consequences that follow. And it's not just about the things you own. If you make your wealth too visible, you send a message that you think you're better than everyone else. That might gain you some respect, but it definitely won't gain you friends. In fact, it often creates jealousy and resentment. So what should you do instead? Stay humble, be grateful, and keep your wealth low-key. Now, let's move on to the second rule. Invest your time before investing your money. Many people think they need money to make more money, but often time is an even more valuable asset. Investing time to learn about personal finance, budgeting, and investing can bring huge returns. The more you understand money, the better your decisions will be, and the fewer mistakes you'll make. Even if you're already experienced, dedicating time to explore new financial opportunities can significantly grow your wealth. Yes, sometimes it makes sense to spend money instead of time, like hiring a professional for something too complex. But in most cases, learning before investing is the smartest move. Before we continue to the next rule, check out the links in the description below. I've listed books and resources that will fast-track your financial knowledge and help you build wealth faster. Now, let's move on to the third rule. Money is a game. Like any game, money offers players the chance to improve. The more you play, the better you get. Even if you start off clueless, you can become great over time. Just like chess has rules, so does money. In chess, you can't move two pieces at once without a penalty. With money, one basic rule is, you must save before you can spend or invest. The great thing is, like any game, once you learn the rules, you can build your own winning strategy. Here's the fourth rule. Money won't solve your insecurities. You may not want to hear this, but it's true. Money won't fix your low self-esteem. Buying a luxury car or a big house might impress others, but it won't make you feel better inside. If you constantly compare yourself to others or feel like you're not enough, no amount of money will change that. The only real solution is to work on yourself, accept who you are, and learn to love yourself. If you don't, you'll spend your life chasing material things that never bring lasting happiness. Drop a comment if you agree that money can't buy self-worth or happiness, and share any insights you think could help others. Now for the fifth rule. Money is the game of life. Why is that? Because no matter how much you save or how smartly you invest, there's always more to gain and more to lose. So stop looking for a finish line. Understand that money is a lifelong journey. Keep learning, keep adapting, and keep playing smarter. Of course, throughout the day, you can automate some of your tasks and even reduce your working hours. But the truth is, this game has no end. And if you don't believe that, just look at the richest people in the world. They keep working, even when they don't need to. The good news? Money doesn't have to be a source of stress or anxiety. With the right mindset, managing money can actually be enjoyable. So stop thinking of it as a battle against an enemy and instead see it as a challenge to conquer. Now, let's move on to the next money rule you must master if you want to become rich. The more you learn, the more you earn. In today's world, learning valuable, practical skills has never been more important. The economy is unpredictable, jobs are scarce, and competition is intense. It's no longer enough to simply learn. You need to learn things that will truly benefit your life. The good news is that you don't need a fortune to acquire valuable knowledge. There are countless free resources online where you can learn everything from basic computer skills to complex topics like web development, finance, accounting, and business. There are also powerful books like The Richest Man in Babylon and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, classics that have changed the lives of millions. Remember, every experience in life is an opportunity to grow and expand your knowledge. The more you learn, the more money you can make, and the more value you can offer to others. If you're enjoying these money tips so far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next ones. Let's keep going. The next rule is, become friends with people who are making money. If you want to become wealthy, surround yourself with those who've already figured out how to do it. That's how success spreads, through influence, proximity, and shared habits. Now, of course, you can't just walk up to a rich person and expect them to mentor you. But if you intentionally build relationships with financially successful people, you'll naturally begin to absorb their mindset, strategies, and habits. Don't be afraid to connect with those who know what they're doing when it comes to money. One good connection could open doors you never imagined and be the beginning of your own financial breakthrough. The next rule you must master to build real wealth is this. Some of the greatest fortunes are made during crises. Take the 2008 Great Recession, for example. It was one of the hardest times in recent history. People lost their jobs, homes, and life savings. But even in the middle of that chaos, some individuals saw opportunity. While most were panicking and selling their assets, savvy investors were buying them up at discounted prices. When the market recovered, those same assets skyrocketed in value. That's how wealth is built during downturns, by staying calm, informed, and ready. Crises reveal the real players in the money game. Now for another crucial rule. As you grow older, your expenses will increase. Over time, your cost of living rises, not just due to inflation, but because your tastes and lifestyle usually become more expensive. We all want to live more comfortably, buy better things, and enjoy more experiences. That's natural. But with every passing year, you'll likely notice your spending increasing, often faster than your income. We see friends and neighbors buying nice things, and we want them too, so we work longer hours to afford more. But if you're not careful, this cycle becomes endless, and your finances never truly grow. That's why it's vital to stay aware, plan ahead, and make smart decisions to ensure your income outpaces your spending. Now, here's another important money rule. Don't fly first class. Many people spend $2,000 to $3,000 on a first-class flight, when they could take the same trip for $300 in economy. But is it really worth it?
Is it really worth spending so much just to fly first class? Think about this. Let's say you travel around 8 times a year. If each first-class ticket costs $2,000, that adds up to $16,000 in just 1 year. Now imagine if you used those $16,000 to start a business. Over time, that could generate far more than what you spent on luxury flights. Or if you already own a business, that money could be used to hire employees, expand your reach, or increase your profits. You could even invest in finance courses to improve your money management skills and grow your wealth even faster. Here's the truth. Whether you fly economy or first class, you're still going to arrive at your destination. Economy might be less comfortable, but it's a temporary inconvenience, and the long-term payoff from making smarter financial decisions can be huge. In the end, it's your choice how you use your money, but thinking long-term almost always pays off. Speaking of long-term thinking, if you're interested in learning how to start a profitable business, check out the video linked in the description. I'll walk you through the best beginner-friendly online businesses you can launch today. Now let's move on to the next rule of money. Study your politicians. If you truly want to save money and protect your finances, you need to pay attention to the politicians you vote for. It might sound obvious, but many people cast their vote based on party loyalty, without even reviewing the economic policies those candidates support. That's a huge mistake. If a politician's philosophy includes raising taxes or increasing debt, you need to be informed before casting your vote. Don't fall for empty promises or vague talking points. Study their financial proposals carefully. By doing this, you'll be better prepared for upcoming changes and may even avoid policies that could cost you money in the long run. Here comes another essential money rule. Wealth accumulates over time. True wealth doesn't appear overnight. It's built slowly, steadily, and with intention. Just like you can't grow a tree in a day, you can't build real wealth without patience. Take Warren Buffett, for example. One of the most successful investors of all time, he bought his first stock at age 11, just $38 per share. Today, he's worth over $108 billion. If you had invested just $100 alongside him at that time and reinvested every dividend, your wealth would have grown exponentially thanks to the power of compounding. That's why the best time to invest is always now. The sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow. Let compound interest do the heavy lifting for you. Next up, don't let your money get bored. Think of money like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weak. If you leave $100 sitting in a savings account for 10 years, it will still be $100. But due to inflation and rising costs of living, its value will be much lower. Now imagine if you invested that same $100 wisely into a business, stocks, or another asset. In 10 years, that money could grow significantly. The lesson? Don't let your money sit idle. Yes, keep an emergency fund for unexpected situations, but the rest should be working for you, growing, protecting itself from inflation, and multiplying. If you know other smart ways to put your money to work, leave a comment and share your knowledge with others. Now for another powerful rule. Focus on your finances. Don't compare yourself to others. Let's say your best friend just bought a shiny new car. It's beautiful, and you're stuck driving the same old car you've had for years. Jealousy creeps in. But here's the truth. Comparing yourself to others is one of the quickest ways to sabotage your financial goals. When you try to keep up with other people's spending habits, you risk making impulsive decisions, going into debt, or chasing things you don't even need. Just because someone else is spending their money a certain way doesn't mean you should do the same. Their journey isn't your journey. Instead of focusing on what others are doing,
Focus on your own financial situation and on the actions that will move you closer to your goals. You will never become wealthy if you don't master the next rule of money. Money is neutral. Many people believe that money is the root of all evil, but that's simply not true. Money is neither good nor bad. It's a neutral force. It has no moral value. What gives money meaning is how it's used. It doesn't change people. It amplifies who they already are. For instance, if someone is kind and generous, money enables them to do more good, help more people, fund charities, and support causes that matter. But if someone is selfish and greedy, more money will only magnify those negative traits, leading them to exploit others or hoard resources. So remember, money is just a tool. It's not the problem. The way people use it is what makes the difference. Now let's talk about the next powerful rule of money. Money flows to those who know how to manage it. There's a saying, if you want money, create something people are willing to pay for. And it's true. Money moves from the hands of those who don't manage it well to the hands of those who do. For example, if you develop an app that helps people save time or money, they'll gladly pay for it because it adds value to their lives. That's how wealth is created, by solving problems and creating useful solutions. So, if you want money to flow to you, focus on creating value. Build something people need.
That's the most sustainable path to wealth. Next up, when it comes to saving, start small. Chris Raining, a well-known investor, retired at just 37 years old as a self-made millionaire. His secret? Smart saving habits and starting small. One of his techniques is simple. Cut back on small, unnecessary expenses, like that $5 daily coffee. Why? Because many people try to save money by making drastic changes all at once. They feel overwhelmed and give up. But by starting with small adjustments, saving becomes manageable and sustainable. Over time, these small wins build confidence and prepare you for bigger financial changes. So don't underestimate the power of small savings. It's not just about the coffee, it's about building discipline and momentum. Now for a crucial rule: control yourself. Most people think personal finance is all about numbers, interest rates, investment returns, spreadsheets. While those things matter, the most important factor is self-control. If you can't manage your emotions, you'll struggle to manage your money. Fear makes people sell all of their stocks during a market crash. Greed makes people invest in bubbles just because everyone else is doing it. As one expert put it, the inability to control our emotions is the root of most financial mistakes. So wealth isn't just about making money, it's about managing what you have, and that begins with mastering yourself. The next rule is simple but essential. Spend less than you earn. It may sound obvious, but many people ignore this golden rule. They live paycheck to paycheck, or worse, spend more than they make, relying on credit cards or loans. They fall into the trap of chasing a lifestyle they can't afford just to keep up appearances. But the truth is, the foundation of financial success is living below your means. It's the only way to build savings, invest, and grow long-term wealth.
Some people get seduced by money and end up spending more than they earn. But why does this happen? One reason is that many people believe they can always make more money later. They think that even if they spend recklessly now, they'll somehow figure out a way to cover their expenses. The second reason? They let their emotions control their spending. They see something they want and they buy it without thinking about whether they can truly afford it. This impulsive habit can easily spiral into debt and long-term financial trouble. There's no magic formula for spending less, but here's a simple logic. If you're struggling to make it to the end of the month, your priority should be to increase your income. But if you're already earning well and want to save more, then the solution is to spend less. Now, let's move on to another powerful rule. Learn to do something that not many people can do. In a world flooded with mass production and common skills, rarity creates value. If you master a skill that few people have, you become more valuable, whether to employers, clients, or partners. There are countless high-value skills out there. For example, you could learn how to code, become an expert in Excel, or even teach a language fluently. Speaking multiple languages, by the way, is an incredible asset in today's global economy. So never underestimate the power of learning something new. It might just be the key that opens the next big door in your career or your life. You will never be rich if you don't master these rules of money. If this video has helped you, take a moment to reflect. Which of these 20 rules are you already applying in your life? Which ones are you still struggling with? Start making adjustments today. Because although being rich is a state of mind, it can also become your reality if you consistently follow these principles. If you want to learn how to achieve financial success, watch the next video right here. And if you've made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel.